Hey guys, how's it going? Twiggs here. And if you guys didn't already notice from the thumbnail or the title of the video, we're going to be talking about the Genshin Impact reward slash banner drama. And there's no better person to listen to bitch about this subject and give their 2 cents is Tectone. So with that being said, hit that like and also, I'll leave a link in the description below for Tectone's video, so definitely check out his channel. Hit that like button for him, subscribe to his channel. He always makes really good content. And with that, let's jump into the video.
I put out a post that even the highest ranked of the top competitive Hoyo shills are turning against. I want to break this down, talk about what this means, why this happened, and figure out what's going on. I am going into this blind. However, my chat is very rarely purely against Genshin Impact.
I, on the other hand, will not be blind, but I want to feed off of Tectone's points and his thoughts while I give my take.
There's usually a little bit of mix because, as we all know, a lot of my roots did come from Genshin, Arcanites, this, that, and the other. They will have a positive bias for some of them about what's going on. This one I have seen nobody talk positive of. I have heard a lot of people really freaking out about this, and let's see what's going on. Then we're going to see the reactions, and then we're going to talk about why this happened. So let's get in here real quick. So this is the post that people are freaking the fuck out about. Okay, here we go. Incandescent Ode of Resurrection version 5.3 events review. Phase 1 Hello Traveler version 5.3 is coming. Let's see what kind of events will be available to do version update. All right, here we go. So we got 1,600 Primo Gems and 10 pulls. This seems pretty good. We get a crown, we get a little pop. That seems pretty good. That seems great, okay? And then we log in, we get a new glider. That seems pretty good.
The key to it is in the dates, but I'm going to let Tectone kind of get through it.
Good, all right. Not really seeing the problem here. The date's the date. What's the issue? So, they're getting this on the second half of the version update.
Yeah, and that's the big problem when you consider when the new characters drop. And when you look at that disparity between when these things happen, that's when things get funny.
Okay, so they're giving these on the second half. Okay, well that doesn't make any sense. Why are they doing that? They usually do that on the first half now. And then, what's this? So then they have the Malvika banner, which is after version 5.3 update 121.
Yep.
And then this is after the version 5.3 update version 121. Wait, no, both of those banners are the first half?
Yeah.
Hold up. Are they double releasing the 2 new characters and then giving the extra pulls the day after? Stop. No! Oh, man! Oh,
yeah.
Man, just when you think they couldn't get more predatory, they leveled up! Holy shit, that's scummy! Ooh,
yeah.
Okay, I need to see every content creator's reaction to this.
And so a lot of people will bring up the whole subject of, well, Zenless Zone Zero did this. They did their 2 new characters on the front half. If you look at that on paper, yes. But there's a huge fucking difference when you compare Genshin Impact doing this to Zenless Zone Zero doing it. Zenless Zone Zero gave Harumasa away for free. So there's no point in pulling on Harumasa's banner unless you want copies of him. So that's pretty much essentially a dead banner. Everyone's just going to be focusing in on Miyabi. The other big difference in all this between Zenless Zone Zero and Genshin Impact is that Zenless Zone Zero's having those banners run throughout the whole duration of the update. Genshin Impact doing this is completely predatory. It is 100% predatory because, one, those banners are going to be dropping, as we saw, at the same time for Citlali and Malvika. But Like I said, the big thing here is that neither of those characters are being given away for free. I mean, this is Genshin Impact. When have they ever given away an event 5-star for free? And no, we're not talking about Aloy. Also, these banners are going to be up, I think, the day before Lantern Rite drops. So you only have literally about 3 weeks to pull for Malwika and Citlali, and then bam, that's it. Once Lantern Rite starts, those banners are gone. And then, oh, here's 20 free pulls for you guys. I bet you probably would have liked these 20 free pulls when we dropped the 2 new character banners, but you didn't need them. So anyone who tries to compare Genshin Impact dropping these 2 new character banners at the same time to Zenless Zone Zero, you are literally throwing out the important nuances of the situation right out the window.
I need to say, oh man, we might get into Way crying part 2. Okay, let me explain to you why this is horrible, and then mods, prepare the links to all the CC's reaction to this. Okay, Citlali is also Malvika BIS. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's
so not only are they releasing 2 of the premier units in the first half, saying you can't get them on the second half. Not only are they making these 2 characters giga synergistic with each other, not only is Malvika going to power creep every other character in terms of quality of life or exploration, but they're lumping the resources to pull them in the second half, forcing players who want them to have more FOMO so they can be even more predatory to garner more banner sales. Oh my god, that is so bad.
Yeah, but the other thing is that face.
Okay, Dora.
All right. The other thing is that yes, Citlali is one of Malwika's best in slot supports. Her other best in slot support is Xiaolonen as well. But if you want to like use Malwika in like really good melt teams, then like it was just said, one of her best in slots. But Xiaolonen is another really good support for Malwika as well. But yes, another big thing is 100%. It probably can go without saying, but because of the nature of how this is being handled all together, it is extremely FOMO. It is like FOMO to the most egregious level.
Bro, wait in. Do we have brand new online new? Do we have Mr. Zajeff? What did Ziox say? Let's see what all they said. So let's read here what the Unreal Dreamer said. Let's see what they said here. That is a major yikes and massively disappointed. They made both limited characters available day 1, but not available for the remainder of the entire patch. And instead leads of 121 on an Archon patch, then having free pulls be after said banner. That is so fucking shitty. Doro making the statement, how we feeling about this? Getting Lantern Rite rewards during Lantern Rite makes sense, but why run the 2 new 5-star characters at the same time without making the banners longer? Classic FOMO lol. Oh man. Doro, rather than saying how we feeling about this, be more assertive with your viewpoints and say, this is how I feel about this. Don't do vibe checks. Just say, this is how I feel. This is how y'all should feel too, because this is bullshit and I know it's bullshit.
It works either way, because I remember catching a bit of Gotcha Smack stream when he was talking about this, and I agree, that's just not in Doro's character, but at the same time, it can also work with that tweet because at least he's saying what needs to be said. It's extremely FOMO, it's extremely predatory, and it's just a really bad way to do this whole process of rolling out these characters. But what can work with Doro's post is that because he's asking a question that attracts engagement, he can get engagement with his tweet. Therefore, it kind of just helps get out his message and what he's trying to say. So it works, but it's also not in Doro's character to be aggressive.
Let these people influence your opinions. Make your own. Let's keep going here. I don't know, man. Having plentiful currency resources happen second half when the 2 new 5-star characters are in the first half does seem a little counterintuitive to me. Oh, Bran. Oh, Bran. Ooh, sounds like we're a little bit afraid of saying how we actually feel, which is, this is bullshit. We know it's bullshit. Guys, do you want to know why this happened?
I want to also kind of chime in here before Tectone goes into his big spiel about content creators and being overly positive. I want to kind of go into Bran's statement. I'll give Bran credit. At least Bran is basically saying that he's not cool with this. But the problem, even though it is a good first step for Bran, the problem is that he could have gone and said a lot more about it. But at least Doro called it out and basically said it for what it is. It is completely predatory FOMO practices. Whereas Bran is basically saying, oh, well, it's counterintuitive. And he's right. It is counterintuitive. But what I'm essentially saying and what I'm trying to get to is that he could have gone further and deeper into his criticism. And then later in the night, Bran had to kind of put out another tweet to kind of just help defend his points. Because let's be real here, Bran does attract the part of the Genshin crowd that's just happy with everything. And please do not criticize my favorite gaming company. He put, quote unquote, it's always been like that. It's for the Chinese New Year. It makes sense. And then stated, guys, I know all that. This is the first time 2 new characters are in phase 1, and pretty much all the rewards and Lantern Ride are phase 2. Also, first time an Archon is dropping in this patch. Just saying, feels not so good. And this is fine. This is actually getting to what he needs to be said, because any of those Genshin Impact people are saying, oh, it's always been like this. Yes, Lantern Rite has always been one of those events that gets all the rewards. That is true. It's for Chinese New Year. Yes, it does make sense. But here's the thing, and this is what a lot of people in this whole Genshin Impact community, these very, very unfortunate, ignorant people, just don't understand, is that, and I'll break it down for you. When I ran a department of a factory, I ran a whole manufacturing line, and whenever anything new had to come to the line, for whatever reason, new equipment, new machinery, having to lay out new conveyor belts, I had to know the ins and outs of what was going to go down with this new equipment because of one simple thing. Did it affect the standards of what was already in place? Because let's say there was a walkway there. Well, because this new equipment is coming in and potentially changing up the walkway, that could result in a safety issue. So we had to see if we could move the walkway or see if we can rearrange the line so that there would be no safety issues coming about. What I'm getting at is that yes, a standard can be in place. In this case, the rewards might have always been tied into Lantern rights. That may be true, and it is. Let's be real, it is. But when something unprecedented comes along and throws a wrench into things, sometimes you have to change up your standards and methods to accommodate for the unforeseen circumstances that have arrived. In my analogy, we had to, or would have to, change things about the standard to accommodate for the new equipment. What people are asking for is changing up or accommodating this whole banner rollout to make sense with the Lantern Rite, because you're doing something unprecedented, unforeseen. Putting 2 new characters on the front half with all the rewards being on the second half. So I will give Bran credit for basically saying this, because he's saying what needs to be said, and even talking back to the people that are saying this dumbass shit. So even, and the thing is, I have been critical of Bran in the past, but I'll give Bran credit for this.
To fill you in on why this happened. This is what happens when you let a company, when you let a developer team get away with too much for far too long. This is what happens when you oppose every other creator who smells blood in the water, but you're too fucking stupid to see the disaster that's in front of you. This game has been getting worse every fucking update. There's glimmers of hope that y'all hold on to for way too long. Just because Fontaine was good does not mean that Natlin was going to be good. And when we warn you, when we tell you this company is greedy and getting more predatory by the day, and you say, stop, you're just a drama-baiting negative CC. Stop shit-talking my favorite game. Anyways, guys, let's go collect mint berries. You all are the reason why this is happening. Because you infect the community to be blind consumers and suck up the slop.
And that's been going on, and I'll always pinpoint it to the exact moment. And you guys, if you've been following my videos for quite a while now, I'll say it that way, I always draw the line exactly back to the GameSpot article during the middle of the Sumeru era, so to speak. Ever since that day, it really drew the line between people who just want to constructively criticize the game and people that are like, this game's perfectly fine. Hoyoverse is telling us how it is. The game's great. The game's fine. We don't need any of these improvements that critically constructive players keep on saying, or CCs keep saying. The game's fine. Well, we've been telling you for the longest time, the game has and will always have room to improve. It has the potential to be better. No one, and this is what they don't ever get, no one is talking shit about the game because they hate it. Oh, there might be a few. I'll concede that there might be a few. But anyone who is constructively criticizing the game is doing it out of good faith. We're saying that we want this because we believe this can make the game better. And guess what? If they implemented new modes and new ways to play the game, that could lead to potentially more rewards. But because, and what Tectone's saying here is, because these toxic positivity players keep on saying, no, everything's fine. That mentality, that mindset allows the Genshin devs, and we've been seeing it clearly for the longest time now, that mindset allows the devs to rest on their laurels and truly believe that as long as they keep on just half-assing the game will be fine. And this right here, with this whole post for 5.3 is clear-cut proof that, hey, we can just throw these really, really egregious FOMO practices and you guys will just suck it all up. This is exactly what's happening.
That you spit. And the reason why I say you suck up the slop is because you cannot defend what you have said in the past. You cannot defend the viewpoints you currently have in a discussion, one-on-one. And when you get on call, and when you talk about this shit, you fold and you say, you know, you're right. It's not as good as I'm saying it is. It happens every fucking time. You say you're looking forward to every new game, hoping it kills Genshin, but you can't leave because of the analytics. And you know it's the truth. You have to be constructive with what you say. Thank God Doro is coming around.
Yep.
Thank God. Thank God. This game does not respect you. This shit sucks ass. This is unacceptable, and we should let our complaints and our voices be heard because that is for the betterment of our people. It's betterment for our game, and it's also better for the other games that are taking inspiration from Genshin that are going to learn, hey, if this game gets away with it, maybe we will. You are being irresponsible with your chat. You're being irresponsible with your community, and you're being irresponsible to yourself. Everybody knows this shit sucks ass. Everybody knows it.
Yep.
You cannot look me in the eyes and tell me, They're not doing it for money. They must have just forgot. They fucking moved the banner back and pushed the rewards later for the specific Archon patch.
And a lot of people are kind of confused by this, by what he means by this. It's very simple. There is no literal reason for why Seedalali has been moved to the first phase. There's literally no reason. And then the second phase is just Chlorinde and Arlecchino. There's literally no rhyme or reason for why this is being done. Again, I'll use the Zenless Zone Zero example. Miyabi was going to be first, but because they're giving away Harumasa for free, they thought, well, let's just throw Harumasa's banner right out of the get-go so that people can pull for copies if they want them. And then just, while we're at it, have the whole banner, both banners, run the whole time. It was due to, like I kind of said earlier, due to the circumstances that had been provided. They just rolled with it. But in this case, there literally is no rhyme or reason for it. So like Tectone saying here, it's very clear that they're just like, well, let's throw Seedalali in the first phase, and then, well, Lantern Rite second. We'll just keep all the rewards in the second half. When they could have done what they normally do and just have Malwika in the first half along with, let's say, Arlecchino or Chlorinde. And then in the second phase, have Seedalali with one of the other reruns. So there's no rhyme or reason for it. There's clearly no reason for it other than egregious FOMO practices to prey on their consumers.
And then made Sitali, Malvika's preferred support, to even more say you need both. I hope this patch breaks records for the lowest selling Archon of all time.
It won't.
But I know it won't.
Yeah,
and you want to know why? Because Genshin players don't fucking learn. They're gonna spend. This is gonna break more records, and they're gonna do it again. And they're gonna do it again. Because you guys want to villainize the people who are trying to fucking help you. We get it. Money's tight, and you need to suck Dwayne's dick. Then do it. But don't fuck with the people who are trying to actually give this company the constructive criticism that it needs. Stop virtue signaling that you're the only appreciator of this game. You're holding back people that are just trying to improve the game state for you, me, and everybody. And I'll be real, and I'm gonna say something that you're not gonna like. You all fucking deserve this. You all fucking deserve this. The amount of people who are gonna fuck their lives because they don't have proper restraint, because you aren't expressing how these games can negatively affect you to your chat. People's lives are gonna get fucked by this shit. Oh, it's not that deep, it's not that deep. It's fucking gambling, guys. Take this shit a little bit seriously. This is not Elden Ring. This is bullshit, and we all know it. And it's pathetic that y'all won't talk about this shit more. But Tectone, I didn't tweet, I did my part. Shut the fuck up while you post 18 more videos about why Genshin's the best game fucking ever and Natlan changed your life. I can't wait to hear about how 5.4 is the greatest update ever. Pathetic.
The thing is, when it comes to the content creators and anyone who literally, and this is my opinion, my opinion's pretty much on par with Tectone's, but just slightly different. If you are one of those people, like these content creators that are extremely positive, basically will on one channel say, oh, everything's great, but then on, like, let's say their Twitch, they will give their real thoughts. You're manipulating your community and a portion of that Genshin Impact community altogether. And again, I know Tectone said this, but I also agree, Doro's exempt. Doro has 100% been improving when it comes to his communication to his community. But if you're one of these people that do basically try to, whether they are aware of it or not, fan the flames of toxic positivity, or if you're one of those players that basically say, oh, everything's great, the game is fine, this is all good, Hoyoverse and the Genshin devs can do no wrong, shut up with your criticism, you'll hurt my favorite game devs' feelings, then you deserve this. You absolutely deserve this, because the atmosphere that you helped cultivate led to this. It led to the Genshin devs feeling that they can half-ass their content, and then on top of that, implement predatory FOMO practices that are going to take advantage of you guys and the rest of your community. And unfortunately, because of that atmosphere that has been cultivated by the toxic positivity crowd, people who were just not in the know or played this game casually, they are more than likely going to fall victim to these predatory practices. And what would have avoided or potentially avoided this whole situation was if we cultivated instead an environment where we're just trying to better our favorite game to the potential that we believe that it can achieve. And that's all that anyone ever wanted from the beginning, was to help Genshin Impact reach its full potential. And instead, what happened was we're here. We're here in an environment where it is clear that the Genshin devs are just going to manipulate their player base and try to take advantage of them and just half-ass their content. So I hope those players and those content creators learn their lesson. I hope that they now understand what happens when you cultivate a toxic positivity environment, because this is it. This is literally what happens. So with that being said, definitely head down to the comments down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Do you agree with this? Do you guys think that this whole thing that Genshin Impact's doing for 5.3 is bullshit? Because I know I do. We're going to put on our copium hats, or hopium hats. Do you think there is any chance that the Genshin Impact devs actually backtrack or fix this whole issue? I don't think they will, but I'm just throwing the question out there. So with that being said, I'll leave a link in the description below for Tectone's video. Definitely check him out. Hit that like button for him. Subscribe to his channel. And while you're at it, also hit that like and subscribe button for me. And I'll catch you guys later.